We grew up on television. The tube was our babysitter, guiding us through the tomorrow sent by transmitter. This is where you go to get down to the know about great TV shows all on one show. It's time for some TGIF right here on Pop Culture Minefield. Thank God it's Friday on Pop Culture Minefield. Thank God it's Friday on Pop Culture Minefield. Thank God it's Friday on Pop Culture Minefield.
Oh my goodness, that's such a good song. I got distracted by it. It's such a cool song. Happy Friday, everybody. End of the week.
Thank God. Never
whatever
felt it more
deity.
than this Friday.
So I love that clip in the opening with Rip and that fucking hammer. Rip is one of the best TV characters I've ever seen. And of course, you know him as the tough guy on Yellowstone that marries Beth.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Played by Cole Hauser, Wings Hauser's son. And man, just what a great character he is. So hello, everybody. We have 12 that are joining us now. Hopefully it will grow as the day goes on. I know that some people are airing at the same time as us, and it's really hard. It's like, who are we going to watch? Well, and they're all good shows. So I get it. It's hard. But hopefully folks will be able to join us. So we got Andy Morrow. Snortopupus is here. Christian Delorme is here. Happy birthday, brother.
Yes.
Emmanuel
It's
is
his
here.
birthday.
Yeah, I just said happy birthday.
I didn't know that. Happy birthday.
I didn't realize
you know.
today's his birthday. Hey,
No, I had
Happy
no idea.
birthday,
Bon
Christian.
anniversaire.
shit, that's my co-host over on Final Revival. I didn't even remember it's his birthday.
Yeah.
Shit.
I made sure before I went to bed, I wished him a happy birthday.
Well,
night.
I'm a terrible friend, as as we've documented on this show now.
I really rely on Facebook updating me. So I try not to miss anybody's birthday that's a friend of mine. And
You got mine
it's
mixed
just
up.
something I'm not, you know what? I'm not going to fucking feel guilty.
I don't want you to feel guilty. I just want you to
If
remember.
it weren't for Facebook, I wouldn't remember my own birthday. So there you go.
Hey, if
And
it wasn't
I
for
just-
America's, alcohol laws, I would have forgotten my own birthday this year because
There you go.
I was going to buy beer on what turned out to be my birthday. And they're like, "Oh, happy birthday." And I'm like, "Wait, what? No, that's today." Okay.
Well, give me another 6-pack.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
stopped giving a shit about my birthdays when I stopped getting cards with money in it.
That's how I
Oh
grew
my
up.
God.
My dad always gave money because he had no idea.
I'm
what
a
else
year
to do.
fucking older. One more trip around the sun. Who cares?
Well,
But I
once you
care
turn
about other
21 and are able, at least in America, once you turn 21 and are able to drink legally, there's no other milestone other than being a husband and father. Then, other than that, it's all just trips around the sun until you die.
Yeah,
Don't you
it's
have
what it is to
retirement
be.
age over there? It's 65 in most jobs here.
They up
That's a
it because
milestone
the
too.
government doesn't want to pay. So
fuck
they
that.
keep upping it every decade. So now it's 60. It used to be 60. Now it's 65. I
Just
technically
as you
should be
reach
able to
60.
retire.
Fuck. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I did. I grandfathered in, Pope. When I turned 18, that was legal for buying booze in Virginia. And the next year they upped it to 21, but I grandfathered in. I could still buy booze. So I was kind of mocking.
Well, that's the
people that-
thing people don't realize about American laws is there is a provision in the U.S. Constitution, actually, that is especially prevents laws that are ex post facto, which basically means that anything that happened before that law went into effect is grandfathered in by design. You cannot punish someone for a law that did not exist at the time.
Right. And so I would sit there with my friends that had to wait to be 21, and I'd be drinking beer going, I could drink.
Well, but that's the thing is you cannot punish someone for a law that did not exist at the
Well, I
time.
know that's
So,
what
like,
grandfathering is. What I'm
well,
talking
that's
about
also
is
one of the things
there are
that's
people that had to wait till they were 21, but I'd be sitting there drinking in front of them
well,
going,
that's
"This is
also a
awesome."
major thing in a lot of legal battles right now with firearms laws in America is that multiple states have different laws regarding firearms.
No, we need to be uniform, and this is something I've gone into. Make your fucking minds up. When am I a legal adult and when am I not? If I'm
Well, I
legal
mean,
adult
according to
at
the Constitution
18,
of the United States,
according to the I'm not talking about that right now. I'm talking about how they treat it. I want to go into that. Is that if you're 18 years old in every state across the union, you can do porn and you can be in the military. In most states, you can buy a firearm. Other
Can't
states,
have a beer.
it's 21.
well, I
And what
mean,
pissed us off during the Gulf War when people were getting shipped out and they were telling us at the E Club that some of the guys couldn't drink. And I said, they're shipping out. You're going to give them a beer. And the guys were like acquiesced and let the guys underage drink because they were fucking leaving and they were going to a dry country. So they couldn't
well,
get a
I
beer
mean,
there.
that in itself is, to my mind, a perversion of, the age of majority. The age of majority is supposed to be the age where you're a legal adult and you can do whatever the hell you want under the Constitution legally. But there are no rights that are held until you are an elder age. Like, you can vote, you can buy a firearm, you can
Well, there
sign up
is,
for the military.
there's an amendment, right?
What's that?
The 26th Amendment is the
That
legal
thing
age.
is absolutely unconstitutional and should never be followed.
It's an amendment. Once you amend it, it becomes legal. If it gets voted in, it's ratified.
Well, so was prohibition, and
I know,
that was one
but
of the
that's the
biggest
problem is
mistakes we've ever made.
you have to follow the system to get rid of it because it is unconstitutional. And so, but according to the 26th Amendment, the legal age to be considered adult is 18. So therefore, it should be an across the board thing that
Yeah,
you should
so
not be
therefore, you should be
refused
able to buy
booze, you should
beer.
not be refused cigarettes, you should not be refused the right to own and bear arms. You should be allowed to have adult sex with whomever you want that's an adult, 18 years or older. The problem is, doing that, they
Well,
created a
that
real
is
weird area.
that is what we call in every country that's ever existed the age of majority. Of you stop being a child, and you are now legally an adult that is able to do things as an adult human being and have agency.
Right.
But now it's just like, oh, well, you can have these things at 18, but you can have these things at 21. No,
You got to
it's
wait to
either
this
all at
age.
18. It's either all
Well,
at
they
18 or all at 21.
They're just creating problems, and it's politics. And
Yeah.
I don't like politicians for this reason because
No, it causes
they don't want to
problems.
be
And it doesn't need
consistent.
to be.
So anyway, the legal age, I believe, should be 21 for everybody, for anything.
Well, in Europe
I
it's
think
18, and
that
I think it's totally
you
okay.
are when you're
Of course.
18. I don't care how. I mean, I had my shit together at 18. I did. I was already a parent.
Now, I will say I joined the Marine Corps
but
at
I was
21.
still a fucking idiot.
Yeah, but
And I
that
think
is when you
that
finish school, 18.
men in
That is when you
particular
need to be an adult.
are fucking idiots really until they're about 26. That's when it starts to, their brain starts to work correctly and, gearing up. But I know that's not an absolute because once again, I
And that's
had my
also
shit
not a
together.
functional model. That's a quarter of your life. I mean, the average age of people now with modern medical technology is 81, 82, maybe. So that's a quarter of your life that you are not responsible for yourself. And also, by the way, most of the years that you will be most productive as a human male is between the ages of 20 and 35.
Yeah, according to the latest research, the average life expectancy is 76 years for men.
That's actually gone down. Okay, because it used to be 81.
I thought it was in the 80s too.
26 would be a third. You can't do that. People need to be adults.
I'm trying to explain something. I'm reading something right now. Hold on. It started dropping in between 2019 and 2020. It was higher. And then it dropped drastically during a certain period of time.
Yeah, where a lot of older people died all of a sudden.
For some weird reason.
Yeah, for that we're not allowed to look into.
And we're not supposed to talk about on YouTube.
Yeah.
I call it the coof. So anyway, and those needly things that they gave to inject people with, suddenly death started.
Dude, that's become a thing, especially among physically fit young men in the last couple years.
Yeah.
And I am more adamant than ever that I'm glad that a lot of the combat arms guys turned that vaccine down and chose to get out of the military.
Yeah, but now they're wanting them back and they're like, fuck you. So
well, yeah, you can't just
we're so sorry, we were wrong.
Yeah, you can't just discharge somebody and then try to say, oh, we were wrong and you were right.
Our bad.
Yeah, come back and fight for us.
You play politics, and then all of a sudden enlistment drops drastically.
Yeah, that's one of those. You can't just sweet talk us back into the ranks. Fuck off.
So anyway, we talked way longer about this than I wanted to. I just wanted to make one small point. Guys are idiots until 26.
That I can absolutely,
which is why
I'm still an idiot and I'm 37. So,
well, that's not good. See, I explained this to my daughter. Look, sweetheart, all of us, but really mostly males, but all of us are idiots till we're about 26. It doesn't mean we get it at 26. It just means we begin to really understand life at 26 on the average. I'm not saying an absolute. And then if you haven't figured your shit out by 35 and find yourself still living at home with your parents, you're fucked. Ask Zoe if I didn't say it to her exactly like that.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong.
And here's the irony of that conversation. One of my BFFs was sitting there. Mac, you've heard me talk about him numerous times. He's done voiceover work for Pop Culture Minefield. Was sitting there with me while he was living with his parents. And he was 37. And he looked at me and he went, hey. And I went, I just shrugged at him. I don't know what to tell you, dude.
No, I mean, I'm in that position. And you know what? You're absolutely right.
But we all get in spots like that. It's not like what I'm talking about when I say 37 still living at home. I mean, someone that's never left home. That's still living off of not just even living with their parents, but living off their parents' money. Hello. Are you wanting to say hi? Hi. Hello, everybody.
Oh,
Nick.
you have a kitty.
That's my little buddy Nix. He is a sweetheart. There you go.
That
He
was
there.
actually one of the worst things about moving into my own place for easier access to work was I no longer get access to Finn. My now 1.5 year old it's brutal.
What?
Half
Poodle.
Springer Spaniel, half Poodle.
Ah,
Oh.
poodle.
And he is one of the most awesome dogs that's ever existed. Like,
I can't remember. There's something in Doodle that a friend of mine had. It was one of the most adorable dogs I've ever seen. So, but anyway, we're still way off topic here.
yeah.
Stop it, Pope. So, okay, we've got our audience here, 25. Let's go ahead and start the slideshow. So, I got to tell you, I remember in the 90s watching this show and being kind of off and on about it. It was kind of confusing as to what to watch. I'm a news hound, so I would watch 60 Minutes most of the time. But this show was airing on at the same time on Fox as 60 Minutes, which I think was a huge mistake on a Sunday. And but they pushed it, but the problem is they didn't promote it. Fox does that, and Fox has a notorious history of making promises with their mouth that their asses couldn't keep.
I mean,
and it's
they
when
had-
Fox started.
They had Firefly.
Hold on. I'm going
And
back
fucked it
further.
up.
I'm giving you a history of Fox. Fox's first sitcom was Mr. President with George C. Scott and his wife Trish Vanderveer. They made promises. This is gonna be the greatest thing. You're gonna be a hit, and we'll get multiple seasons. You're gonna save this. Help build, not save, but help build this Fox network. This is in the '80s when they were just started, and they didn't get the numbers in the first weeks of the show, and they canceled it mid-season. And Scott was so offended by what they did that he refused to ever work with Fox ever again, and said a lot of very nasty things about Fox publicly, and it hurt the network doing that. They shouldn't have done that. And they instead put all their beans into another show, which was Married with Children, and then, The Simpsons. And those are the two shows that built Fox, their foundation. And eventually they would start the X-Files in the 90s, like 93, I think it was. And it took off. So once they got to those shows, but the problem was they didn't quit their habit of making promises to creators and then reneging on that agreement. And this was one of those programs. Space Above and Beyond was given great promises. 5 years, they were talking 5-year, 5-season series, 5-season story arc, and end it at the 5th season. And they didn't even make the first season. It was canceled before the end of the season. And then the word was given to them at the end of the season. So they couldn't even do a proper wrap up of the show. And that's another shitty thing about Fox, because they already knew they were canceled. And didn't tell them.
That's standard operating procedure for Fox, because that's what happened to Firefly.
Yep, it's exactly what happened to Firefly. They get the same treatment. And it doesn't end there. There are more that have been screwed
I'll never
over.
forgive them for Firefly.
John Doe.
I'll never forgive them for Firefly. And
John Doe was more hurtful than Firefly.
And also,
I love
I never
Firefly.
watched it.
Well, I love John Doe. It was one of my favorite shows.
Well, there's also
Yeah.
a later show that I would never forgive them for, which is Almost Human.
Oh yes.
Yep.
That show had
Keen-
massive potential and had an amazing cast, and they just cut it at 13 episodes. Wait,
yeah,
what?
same thing
No.
with Keen Eddie. Man, I just love that show.
But this is just Fox's MO, apparently.
Fox being Fox.
And also Terra Nova.
Yeah. Look, there's
They-
so many
they-
shows that they've screwed over. But I want to get back to Space Above and Beyond. This was a show that had a lot of promise. I found the shows, I don't want to use the word, but yeah, I did find them kind of derivative. I didn't find them all that good. They weren't compelling a lot of the time. And worse, some of the best episodes were one-offs that should have been a two-part episode because they just wrapped it up too quickly. And it suffered kind of the same feeling that Battlestar Galactica had with the writing, because you had a guy that created the show that didn't know how to write science fiction. And that's why, if you always wonder what hurt Battlestar Galactica, the original series in the 70s, it was the creator. He created the show, but didn't know how to write that style,
I mean,
that kind of writing.
I especially in the modern era, I hate to attack the original creator, but you're not wrong. Glenn Larson did not know what to do with the absolute.
Glenn A. Larson is not a science fiction writer, period. So with this show,
he had a
halfway
brilliant
decent
idea.
writing. I'm coming back to this show. The halfway decent idea, and I thought it was really neat that they brought two celebrated Marines onto the show. Yeah, they were in just the parts, 2 episodes. The pilot had Arlie Ermy, who is, of course, famous for playing drill instructor Hartman. That was it, Hartman, in Full Metal Jacket, as well as a drill instructor in The Boys of Company C. He's made a career of playing drill sergeants and leaders in the military,
And just
and
Marines
he, of course,
in general. And
is
very
the trainer. Yeah, he is the drill instructor for these Marines.
There was also a movie where he did a guest appearance as a ghost, right?
Oh yeah, in Frighteners, he was the guy that originally there were two people guarding the cemetery. There was another character which they cut completely out, a big fat cherub-looking creature, ghost, and Arlie Ermy's character guarded the cemetery there. So anyway, back to the show. We get a taste of Arlie Ermy doing the typical yelling at people, but he has to do it in a PG way, so there's no fucks and asses and cocks and pussies.
Which
So
makes
it's not
drill
actually
instructor
Arlie
very
Ermy.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
not.
actually a drill instructor.
Well, he is their senior DI, because that's what you have in the Marine Corps, or DIs. These are they're not typical grunts. They're learning to be pilots, but they have a drill instructor, and that's what he is.
I mean, that's OCS. That's something I have no experience of.
Well, this is not just OCS, it's pilot school. They are learning to be aviators in the Marine Corps, but with spaceships. So it has its own kind of training, which includes aspects of OCS, because they're going to be officers at the end of their graduation. It's like the shit with Annapolis. You've got
that's
these
actually
pilots.
where this thing falls apart. Is there is no difference. Like, you become a Marine Corps officer before you become an aviator.
Yeah, I know. It's not at the same time. So this is the show doing what it's going to do, and they make him a drill instructor for these recruits. And we also involved this thing, which Anima really did a good job of pointing out, of this is just weird. These people who were test tube babies.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're still fully human.
18. Yeah, but
They're
what's
just
the point? They're born at 18, supposed to be functioning adults right away without the ability to be an adult without having a childhood. They know nothing. They're babies, but they are 18.
Oh, I mean, That's a staple of late '80s, early '90s sci-fi. And ask Martin how the clans perpetuate their society.
Yeah, but the clans they do not use accelerated growing like they
Yes,
do
they
with the
do.
tanks. No, they
Yes, they
they
do.
okay inner.
Were they born? Do they have umbilical cords? Were they connected by an umbilicus?
They have them by the neck,
Yes,
Gary.
in the neck.
At the neck, yeah.
That's bizarre.
Yes, it is because it's visible, and I think that's the point why they are doing it, so that you visibly
Yes.
stand out as a, what do they call them?
Tanks or in vitros.
In vitros.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for. That's
But
deliberately
this is
put in
actually
the neck
where
about the belly.
I believe Fastly got the tank-borne idea for the clans in BattleTech.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
let me
surprised.
give me a second here. Let me pause it, and I have to run the video for.
So
There you go, Bush.
they did, the two creators of the show, Glenn Morgan and James Wong. Both these guys have a really good background. And there he is. That's earlier me right there. But both of them worked on shows like the X-Files, shit like that, and basically had a good writing background. And so I think this show should have been better than what it was. Because I still have problems with it. I will never give this show 2 thumbs up. I'll just put 1 thumb up. I think that it was ambitious, and I think if it had been written better, I think they would have done better. They should have also dropped the budget. That was another thing that hurt them. This is 1995 money here, and they were $5 million a episode in the 90s.
Especially when you're competing with something like what is in production right now in 1995 in Starship Troopers, and just don't do it. Because you're never going to meet the budget of a Paul Verhoeven movie in the 1990s that is bad adaptation of the book as it is. It has the money.
Yeah. Now, just to show you who, some of the things these guys worked on, Wong has worked on some good stuff and some really shitty stuff. I liked the series Next and was really disappointed when it didn't get continued. He was a consulting producer. He was an executive producer on American Horror Story for 102 episodes, X-Files for 61 episodes. He worked on a show I thought should have never been made, Rosemary's Baby, terrible show. The Event, which wasn't bad. He was a co-executive producer. Final Destination 3. Willard was a remake that should have never been made. The Jet Li movie, The One, which was not bad, but it's like pizza. It's even when it's bad, it's still good because it's pizza.
I would always
He was an
disagree on
executive.
this one. You know that.
He would be an exec. Well, I would not look to you for your opinion on pizza. Executive producer, showrunner, and consulting producer on Millennium, another show that got screwed by Fox. He didn't get enough being screwed with this show, but he worked on some other good shows. He worked on The Commish. Does anybody remember that show? It only lasted 44 episodes, 2 seasons, but it was very popular at the time. And then, of course, he worked on a great show as a supervising producer that I loved back in 1990 was Wise Guy. And it also got mistreated by production. Then Glenn Morgan. This guy's got an interesting history. And again, good stuff and bad stuff. He worked as an executive producer on the shitty new Twilight Zone. It was politically woke. It was ridiculous. He also was an executive producer, consulting producer, and co-executive producer on 67 episodes of The X-Files. He also worked on the TV series that didn't last long, Lore. Intruders, he worked on as an executive producer on 8 episodes of that series. He worked on, let me find another one, Bionic Woman, which is a terrible new series. They should have left that show alone. Along with James Wong, he was a producer on the film Black Christmas. He worked on, along with James Wong, Final Destination 3. And with Wong, he worked with him as a producer on Willard, another film that should have been remade. And The One, let's see, God, he worked with him on Millennium. So these two had a really good working relationship, you can see, because they have a lot of the shared history of TV shows, The Commish and Wise Guy. And it looks like that's where they met, is Wise Guys, back in 1990. So you would think with that history, you would have got some better writing and show running, but it didn't happen. The show suffered on every end, from betrayal by the network to mishandling of scripts during the show and production. And I got to be honest, a show like this, yes, they were pushing the envelope with CG effects because all the outer space stuff was CG. That they should have been making a show for 2.5, half of what they were charging per episode, spending, I should think. So a lot of things brought the show
problem
down.
is they were dealing with Babylon 5, which was doing this for half of the budget.
They were doing it for 2.5 million a episode. Same
And
thing.
doing-
Visual effects
and doing
are
it
done by
better.
CG.
This is a problem.
Absolutely.
They were doing it better for half of the cost.
And I think the big mistake was going to Fox. They should have gone for a more independent approach and produced the series and had it picked up that way, because that's how Babylon 5 was done. It was on the original version
I
of
can't
the
say you're
CW.
wrong. I mean, the story of Space Above and Beyond, it doesn't actually speak, or guarantee an audience, essentially. But you know what? It's an interesting enough premise that I think it gets beyond the pilot. And that's what a concept for a sci-fi show has to have, is you have to get beyond the pilot.
Yep. And I felt like the pilot, which is actually technically the first 2 episodes, which when you watch them tend to be put together as one episode, 1 2-hour episode. I really felt it kind of fell flat, personally. I enjoyed parts of it, but I felt like the show fell flat right off the get-go. I didn't think the idea of these in vitro Marines was just for these people that were in vitros. It's just a weird premise. And Anima nailed it when she criticized that. And I'm like, yeah, you actually, it's a valid argument that they should have thought this out better before doing it. And
Well,
that's it right
it's
there.
not even the first time.
It's not well planned. It's just not well planned.
It's not even the first time that someone has in sci-fi has essentially used the Marine Corps as this force that does nothing until you get into a naval engagement, and then we kind of solve your extrasolar colony problems for you. That is what the Marine Corps does. Don't get me wrong, but that's not a sustainable model of like, oh yeah, we're your expeditionary force, and yes, we are, but we should not be sent out blind.
No, and in this case, the series begins like Battlestar Galactica with its version of a Pearl Harbor that leads to the events that are happening within the series. But I don't think they did a fairly good job of developing that idea. I think it could have been much better. They should have taken at least 2 more passes at the script before they were shot. I mean, a prime example of well-written science fiction is The Expanse, and it should have been that kind of series. And of course, by the way, another thing to point out is a series that was kind of like this and a mishmash of Starship Troopers was the Starship Troopers animated series. It felt like it took this idea and went better.
Which time are you talking about?
The first time
The
animated Starship Troopers. No, it was a TV animated series. First time they did it,
I know,
felt like an amalgamation of this show and Starship Troopers.
Honestly, like I've watched the entire 80s anime of Starship Troopers, and it's
really good.
better than the Verhoeven.
Oh, it's better because you got the mech.
Well,
they actually did the suits.
But at the same time, that's the only thing they got right.
But Roughnecks was the animated series I'm talking about.
Yes, it was. And it was actually much more faithful to the book than anything anyone else has ever done.
You're talking about Roughneck?
Yes.
Okay. I was trying to get clear because you were kind of moving around and I wasn't sure what you were talking about. So, yeah, Roughnecks was a pretty good show. I liked it. But again, I'm going to point out that it was sort of an amalgamation of this series and Starship Troopers, and I could feel that when I watched it, and I kind of like that. And it was what this show should have been. Clearly, this show is stolen from Starship Troopers, whether they want to admit to it or not. The show could be like Twilight Zone in outer space. Ships come back, and after decades, no contact with the crew, alarms assemble crew. Space Above and Beyond could have been that. I agree, Eastland. I agree. It could have been this. The premise is what works. The problem is in their execution.
Yeah.
And now what's really funny is Anima had problems with the show. She's not said anything about this so far. Anima, are you there?
I am. Well, Martine loves
Yeah,
the show.
because
and
you
she
did
hasn't
not
said
get
much
into this
either.
show, and I
Because you
understand
were
why,
going
and
at
I
it,
wanted you
Gary.
to say.
I didn't want to interrupt you. You were at it with Pope.
I only do that as filler when nobody else is talking, because dead air is bad.
I know that.
Interject. It's what panels do. They interject. So please give your opinion on this show, because you have a very good and strong opinion on this show.
Well, I really wanted to like it because I liked the premise and what I read about it beforehand, before starting to watch it. But then I started watching it, and I don't know if after 4 episodes or 5 episodes, I still have difficulty remembering names or just getting attached to any of the characters. It's a problem. But I have to say, I had to squeeze watching the show in between work and evenings and other stuff that I have to do. So maybe I just would have needed more time to really get into it. I really don't know.
Well, this does have a fan base. I mean, I know somebody in here in the chat, watches it all the time. And I've talked to those people, and I love the premise. The premise is what I love. I enjoyed the actors for the most part, but I thought they ran through things too quickly, and I felt like the overarching story needs to have been stronger, and that each episode they should deal with something. But if that is a complex episode, automatically needs to be a two-parter. If it's going to be a complex subject you're going to talk about in an episode, plan to do it in 2 episodes. And they made that mistake with the recon, the sniper recon episode. And that was absolutely should have been a 2-parter. It went so quickly that it was hard to care about anything. And getting to understand these aliens was another thing we needed to spend more time with.
Well, they dropped
I
hints
almost
here
feel
and there.
we should have seen a little bit, because you get that with Halo. You get to see the aliens. It's the B story, but you get to see the aliens more and see them interacting with each other and understand them. So,
He gets
hey,
hints
Deepak,
though, because that one alien that was trapped and they tried to give him water and he killed himself and the green stuff came oozing out. I felt like I wanted an explanation. Are they too scared? Is it against their politics to get captured? I don't know. I wanted to know more about them.
and they don't give us that. Maybe they plan to slowly feed us that over 5
Yeah.
seasons.
That's what
But
I
I'm
think
going to
it
point
is.
out again,
They ran out
your
of
first
time.
season is what's going to make or break this show. So you better give your best in that first season to make sure you have a second.
Well, I'll interject and say the first Halo game, the first introduction we get to that universe is the intro to the first game, where the Covenant are literally just the devil. Because they are just destroying everything human related. And the more you learn about that war before you play the first game, the worse it gets. Like the Battle of Reach is essentially, well, what would become Halo Reach later is actually an earlier point in the lore, where Reach was essentially our industrial hub of the entire military. So once that falls, we were basically on desperation mode of this is literally the last chance we have.
Exactly. And by the way, something that Pope and I talked about earlier, when you are going to be an aviator or pilot in the military, you have to go to OCS. Our nickname for that in the Army was Oklahoma Cocksuckers. You first become an officer and you got to go through boot. It's officer's boot. And then you get to go to pilot school. They're 2 separate programs. So you would have a drill instructor in OCS. You would have instructors in your pilot training or aviator training.
Actually, as far as I'm aware, as far as the early training goes, it is literally OCS and/or boot camp.
Yeah, it's what it is. It's boot camp, but for officers. At the end of it, you're not an officer until you graduate.
You're an officer candidate.
Yeah, you're a candidate, and it's totally and wholly different. You learn
And
that if you watch the movie
point of
not a few good men, Officer and a Gentleman. Really did a good job of explaining what OCS is.
Yeah, which is weeding people out who are not meant to be military officers.
Yep.
Because they're giving you problems that are the basic problems and leadership questions you should have, or
you have to show that leadership quality. You have to show it. You have to show leadership qualities during training.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they will weed you the fuck out. And
Yeah.
so anyway, what they did at the beginning of the show is what's wrong. With one of the things that's wrong is that that's officers candidate school that they show at the beginning, but they're also showing them learning to be pilots, which is wrong. They learn to become pilots later. It's close to 22 weeks, some shit like that. It's ridiculous. It's like,
are you talking about the actual pilot program?
Remember,
No,
this is 2064. Many things may have changed.
That's what I said about the changes they made to the oath. They did that to show
you're
this
getting
is the
okay.
future.
Here goes. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but we've
I'm
had
gonna
that
I'm
argument
gonna
before,
launch
I know. I
hope
just
on
wanted
you
to point
guys.
that out.
They will never fucking change anything as far as core training in the Marine Corps.
And there's no way
You
can
are
do that.
absolutely correct about that.
I said that, and I'm not a Marine. I know Marines, and I understand them. That will never change. You guys say that, and I'm telling you, listen to Pope on this. And every Marine I fucking know will say this, that from the beginning of the Marine Corps to today, their core principles are the same.
Yes, we are absolutely goddamn clear on that.
Yeah, never going to change.
Which is one of the reasons America has kind of chosen the Marine Corps as their Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
Like,
Because they stand steadfast at the same thing. That their nicknames go all the way back 200 years. Leatherneck.
Not only that, it's just we have the mentality of whatever continues the Republic. We are servants of the Republic first and foremost,
and always the tip of the spear. And it's that way. We guys that are in the Army,
even if it means our own death,
understand that
we will.
And that's why there's less of
mission
it too. A lot of people don't know this. The reason that saying is few good men. What that really means is they have the smallest number of our military personnel of all the branches.
And
there
yet,
are fewer
when
Marines than there are
effective
Navy, Army, or Air Force. And they're the few, the proud, the Marines. And so
when you look out,
when you talk about the Army, Anima and Martin, when you talk about the Army, yeah, things are going to change. It can change command to command. But the core of the core, yes, I'm doing that on purpose. The core of the core will never change.
I know you and me will always shit on each other for being Army versus Marines.
Right.
But what kind of reputation does 5th Marines have?
They're infantry.
Well, not only that, we are the problem solver. Like,
well, yeah,
when you deploy the 5th
What's
Marine
Don Eckers saying, Anima?
You know, when you deploy the 5th Marine Regiment to a problem, it's going away.
Yeah, it's going away because what's that saying, Anima, that Don always says?
I don't know what you mean right now.
Improvise.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
You adapt, improvise, overcome. Yeah. I was trying to get that out of you.
This is the
Improvise,
problem
adapt,
that everyone
overcome.
has with it.
Yeah.
There is no way to beat the Marines once we get on shore, because whatever tactic you use, we'll figure out a counter.
Yeah.
And we have
what
more
they're trained to do.
And we have more autistic retards than you do.
That's why Marines aren't stupid. But, you know, they get a bad reputation of having low IQs. I'm like, have you ever gone up against a Marine? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So anyway, I want to get back to this because you guys go off on that, and I've got to stop you before you go off in that direction, because they chose Marines for this show. And I don't care if it's 200 or 300 years in the future, one branch will have the same core tenements. That is the Marines.
And the United States Marine Corps is the assault troop of the day. I don't care what era we're talking about. Now, past, or in the future, we are the assault troops du jour.
And there's something else about the Marine Corps that I'm going to end it here. We got to stop talking about this and get back into the show. Is the Marine Corps has probably the greatest pride of any of the branches because of those tenements. And I mean, the Marine Corps hymn was changed only one time, but it eventually gets changed for this show because they had to include space in the hymn. But it
Well,
got changed because of World War One, because of the air, and that got included into it. If you didn't know this, there are airborne Marines, as well as aviators in the Marine Corps.
We actually did.
Are they airborne because somebody kicked their ass?
No, they go. Marines go to. That is funny though.
We actually
Marines
did
go
have
to U.S.
Marine
Army
Corps.
airborne training.
Oh
They
my
will
God.
get their. They will get their jump pen. from
And
having
also,
graduated jump training.
even in World War II, we had a couple of Marine Corps parachute infantry regiments that we were training to use that we never actually used. We used them in amphibious assault, just like line Marines.
Right. So let's take this into science fiction with the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps is not as badass as it should have been. This show shows a much. They're not rowdy enough, in my opinion. They don't.
That's
they don't,
fucking factual.
They're not really behaving like Marines in this show, and this is where the show suffered because guess what? There was no technical military advisor on this show, and it shows. If you're going to depict warriors, especially Marines, because look, there are only two branches that have infantry, and that is why I will argue till my fucking death that if you are infantry, you're not just a grunt, you are a soldier. That's a soldier. Marines don't want to be called that. Tough shit.
I will
infantry,
make that definition because of how we're trained. The Army variant of that is a soldier. We are warriors.
Soldiers actually go back to the Roman times, and it doesn't reference just the army. If you are boots on the fucking ground,
straight up unrestricted by rules at that point, we are warriors.
Yeah, warriors is another term, but so is every fucking infantry guy in the army. Warriors is my term of use when I'm referring to the branches, because I include the Air Force PJs and I include Navy SEALs in those groups. They're all warriors. They're true warriors. I also include guys that are going to see combat even on ships. If you have gone in, in the military, if you're boots on the ground, it's called leaving the wire. Once you've done that, you're a grunt, and it's accepted no matter what fucking thing.
I wouldn't disagree with that in terms of when you leave the wire with us, you're a grunt.
Yeah, because there are names for each kind of person in the military.
But at the same
most
time,
common ones are Pogue, Remph.
But at the same time, if you're a Pogue, who gets to go out with us once in a while?
Fobbit.
I would say you're permanently a. You're not a Fobbit.
No, Fobbits are guys that never go outside the wire. They stay. Hence the name.
Guys like Calm or things like that go out with us that are not grunts, but they contribute to especially to the communication relay.
Well, okay, so I want to get back to the show because I'm trying to lead us back to this. Okay, so these guys are supposed to be elite Marine aviators, but they're also on the ground grunts. And I just saw Max Damon, I think, just said it, that they tried to mix two things and they should have separated those two things. There are three things that should have been dealt with here.
Correct.
They did it with Starship Troopers very well because there were those who took them there and those who fought in the air or space, and those who went to the ground, the ground warriors. And this show is missing that element, and it tried to combine them all into one, and it just doesn't fucking work.
It's even in the opening that they fight everywhere, between planets, on the sea, on the ground.
Well, that's true with Marines, period, but it doesn't mean every Marine has the exact same fucking MOS. You know, if they'd had a military advisor, this show would have worked so much better.
Well, I guess
And it
with the
would have
money
separated
there
those
is no
things.
money
So
left.
here's the thing that's really hard to visualize for anyone who isn't an American, is that the Marine Corps is their own military branch.
And this isn't from the 80s,
own
by the way, Max.
thing.
This is a 90s show. Sorry, go ahead, Pope.
The Marine Corps is, yes, we are part of the Department of the Navy, but we have our own entire military infrastructure, not even recruitment, but we have our own entire infrastructure in terms of military equipment, what we need troops for. Hey, I'm a grunt. I filled the slot.
Let's simplify it right
line.
here. Let's simplify it right here. To the point, Snortapoopa says it fast here. You don't spend 2 years training an aviator and then send them on infantry missions. There you go.
Yeah, that
You
makes
know
no
what?
sense.
He's absolutely right. And
That's the point of what we're trying to make.
I
He
am a
summed it up
man
perfectly.
who got trained for a year and a half and got sent on little bullshit missions. That's correct. But I'm an infantry Marine. That's my job. But, you know, like Snortapoopa says, there is any amount of stupid shit that happens above my level. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, and I like that Kingsport says that he can tell you're a grunt, Pope. I can tell he was a grunt because he's always got a fucking dip in his mouth.
Well, you're not wrong.
I can always tell when you've got in your lip. So they do some really cool visual stuff here. And what it is you have a bunch of guys that don't know shit about the military making a show about the military. And, you know, to me, that's like a virgin trying to tell you how great sex is. And it's just like,
And
what the
for
fuck do you know about it?
emphasis, you know, all you had to do was hire Dale Dye.
Well, you got both of them on the show. You
Yeah,
had
he's
Dale
in an
Dye in the
episode.
12th episode, and you've got Arlie Ermy in episode 1. And
What?
both men have served as tactical advisors for military films. So
Hold on, when
you had
when
that.
Dale
This
started,
still
didn't
turned
use
out
it.
that bad.
was Dale already a technical advisor back then in the 90s? When did he start?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was a technical advisor in the 80s.
Okay.
I
didn't
mean,
know that.
one of the most famous Vietnam War films ever made. The two, in fact, I'm going to say this, the two most famous Vietnam War films ever made were Platoon and Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, we still have to do Platoon.
Arlie Ermy was the military advisor. He wasn't just in it, he was the military advisor for the film. And Dale Dye was in Platoon, wrote the book Platoon, and was the senior military advisor for that film.
And you know what? I'm going to back him up on that. Especially because Dale Dye has not only performed other military roles really well, he's performed military roles he's absolutely seen. Like his commanders in World War II. Like in the production of Band of Brothers. That is Colonel Singh being called on high, essentially.
Rescue Dawn and Deer Hunter were my Vietnam films.
We talked about both of them on Military Monday.
Cool.
Yep. Well, I don't think we've done Rescue Dawn yet. Oh wait,
I
yes
think
we did.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
Yes
That's,
we
that's
did.
one where they all
Hold
went
on.
together.
I was thinking of another film for a second. Oh no, that's the one with Christian
I
Bale.
was gonna say,
The
if you
film I
haven't
was
done
thinking
Rescue
of was
Dawn, have you not
was Red
talked about
Dawn.
my favorite fucking aircraft of the era, the
Hold on,
A1B
guys.
Skyraider?
Hold on, I was making a point. I'm making a point, Pope. That I was actually the mistake was I was thinking Red Dawn, which is a film we still
Red
haven't
Dawn.
done. but I was
Okay.
Rescue Dawn is one with Christian Bale and Steve Zahn, which is a fantastic fucking film. And
It is.
I have problems with what's his name that did Deer Hunter, because even though he did some stuff I thought was really good, he was making up shit. And but I was glad that he at least had a military advisor for that film.
Yeah, but that was depressing.
Michael
that movie.
Cimino.
What's really funny is I kind of want to see what Hollywood does with it. Is the obsolescence of what used to be a full-on fighter interceptor, but by Vietnam was essentially surpassed technologically. So essentially, the F-100. If Gary, I hope you know what the F-100 is, the Super Saver.
Yeah. Which is, that's a kick-ass shit. I shine a light on PTSD, the Deer Hunter. Yeah. It also gave recognition, I think, is as the first film to recognize the 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah, but the movie made a point of showing that his way to let out his feelings was playing Russian roulette, and that was bullshit. I had
Don't use the word.
serious problems with that.
We don't say, you can't say that word on YouTube.
What word?
Slavic
the thing that-
roulette.
Oh,
You can't
I didn't
say
know
it.
that was forbidden too. That's just an Asian.
Yeah, it's verboten. It's verboten.
Okay, sorry. Didn't know you.
No
YouTube
no
was an
worries,
asshole
hon.
about that too.
Who was?
I didn't know YouTube was being an ass about that one.
Oh
too,
yeah,
huh?
they're absolutely fucking dickheads about words. They're the word police.
Nah.
Way
So,
worse than the 1930s Germans.
Yeah, right up there with them. Rescue Dawn and Deer Hunter. Let's see, y'all did Rescue Dawn, yep, and Deer Hunter. It shined a light on PTSD, and I agree, Cal. I absolutely agree. This show had what I love about the show is the potential it had. What I hate about the show is that they didn't do it for me. I think Babylon 5 is a better show. I think Roughnecks, the animated series, was a better show. Did it better. They separated the branches. They separated the MOSs. And this show just was two Hollywood guys
If you gave
playing
me
soldier.
a choice between this show and Babylon 5 or Roughnecks, I would choose Roughnecks.
Yeah. Roughnecks is a better military series, despite being really written for
Despite
Saturday morning.
all of the problems I have with it, it's still a better series than this kind of trash pile.
Now you're being a little.
Yeah,
bit
it's like
too
I say,
much.
every day words are important. What, hon? What?
You just said. You just talked about the trash pile show, and I think that's a bit harsh.
Say again?
Oh,
I didn't understand that.
Never
Oh.
mind. Continue.
Oh, look, the best character in this show, I forget his name, is the tank character.
Yeah.
That's my
McQueen.
favorite
Oh,
character.
wait, there are 2 tanks, so
No,
The
he
main
means-
tank, the guy.
Yeah. The lower ranking
I
one.
thought he was the best character. Played by Rodney. Yeah, Rodney
Hogs.
Roland.
Hogs.
I
Played
like the
Lieutenant.
opposite
Yeah.
in vitro too, though.
I could say, yeah, Hogs, but
Oh,
I don't
James
know.
Morrison. Well, he's a good actor. He plays Lieutenant Colonel Tyrus Cassius, TC.
that is Cassius
He was a
McQueen.
good character. He was a good character. But no, the grunt tank Rodney Roland played, Hawks, is my favorite character on the show. Him.
Oh, and never forget, he only appears once, but Raymond Butts.
But also, I dislike the haircuts.
Oh, yeah.
These are fucking jarheads. They might allow the females to have hair, but it have to be under control. The men would all have military high and tights after training.
Yeah, I mean,
Considering they have
most of
wear
the time, even when I was in my unit, like I was like, oh well, that's what they look like when they first joined. No. Even when we get to our units, we share our fucking heads constantly. Because well,
Mhm.
we don't because it's it's extra heat dissipation is as much as I've seen, it's extra heat bleed off. And also, it's extremely easy to deal with.
Yeah. Now, I want to point out that most of the branches allow mustaches, but it is frowned upon when people have them. Facial hair is just something that most of the command don't like. But Marine Corps, Navy, Army, and Air Force allow for mustaches. Air Force has almost no regulations for facial hair or haircuts. They're civilians in
The
uniform.
Marine Corps is
Corners of the mouth.
extremely restrictive.
You cannot grow anything outside the corner of your mouth. It's got to be.
If you don't want to cosplay Adolf Hitler, don't do it.
The other thing is the only way to be allowed facial hair in the military is to have a medical profile stating that you can't shave. But what they want you to do is trim it and keep it trim. And that means no beard, but you take clippers and you clip the hair off your face. Medical profiles means you can't use a razor or a depilatory. If you guys don't know what a depilatory is, it is a cream liquid
torture
that
device.
you put on your skin to remove hair. And the only other tough military woman was Vasquez. Absolutely. She was the most fun female Marine in film history because she was badass.
Yeah, you know what? You're not wrong.
Nope. So let's see, where are we? By the way, Anima, I shared something with you in your private message on YouTube. I mean, Facebook. Oh, Penny is here.
She has been for a while, I think. I saw her earlier.
This is the first time I've seen her. So, and what did Max say?
Oh, storm knocked out
Yeah,
internet. Be safe, Penny, please.
And we got storms coming in. Hopefully, we'll wrap this show before they hit. So let me check, see who all is here. We've got Snorts here, Emmanuel, Andy Morrow, Christian Delorme, Easton Burkholder. Whoosh. Tim is here. Tim needs his video.
Oh yeah. Let me-
D-Bud, Martin, Max Demon, and Kingsport Co.
Here we go.
By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
So how are we doing the slides today? Is this just one episode or one long?
You know, one slideshow covering the first 4 episodes.
Okay. So right now we should be on the 4th episode, and by the time we're at the 4th episode, we should have a better understanding of the aliens, and we don't.
Well, we spent the first 2 episodes seeing the aliens for seconds. When they do their attack and when they capture one, and that's it.
That's the one that
Because-
dies when they try to give him water, right?
Yep.
And that was weird that there was no explanation. Like, open it up, have a look at it. I don't know. I kind of missed that.
Because Dark Side of the Sun is the 3rd episode, and Vanson in that one wakes up from a disturbing dream in which she sees her parents die to discover she is aboard a space carrier, Saratoga. The squadron gets orders then to protect a mining station against any Chigs, which is the one thing I liked. I liked that they gave them a nickname, Chigs, because that's very common with our military. We end up giving nicknames to whoever we're dealing with, from Nips even though Nips is actually a reference to Nippon, which is the actual name of Japan. Japs, Korean War. What was it in Korean War? The slang. Gook was what got started in the Korean War. And then that carried over into the Vietnam conflict, where you also had slope heads and zipper heads,
Well, I mean,
or zips.
that also started in Korea.
Which one? The zipper heads? Because I know body bags is
No,
what that's a
slopes.
reference to. Oh, slopes. And it was a reference, a
Slopes started
derogatory
in,
reference to the
was
slanted eyes.
Well, slopes
Charlie-
were the
Charlie is reference to Kong, Viet Cong,
Yeah.
Charlie.
That's what I've heard from Don.
And
multiple
that was
times.
absolutely from Vietnam by itself.
yeah.
But there were things that carried over. But anyway, getting back into it, the squadron gets orders to protect a mining station against any Chig action. As they arrive at the A colony, laser battle erupts, killing 2 of the squad. The rest withdraw as it becomes apparent that the attackers are not Chigs, but AIs infected with a computer virus that encourages independent action. A counterattack is, which is what all humans are afraid of. An attack is mounted, but most of the squad is captured. The AIs begin torturing the squad members, trying to discover when a relief convoy is due. Hawks, who is the tank on the team, knowing the AI's devotion to gambling challenges the leader to a game of cards. Chance.
I
With
forgot
his
that.
life as the prize. Before the game is completed, the remainder of the squad counterattacks and frees the team. The Space Marines prepare to make their way the last stand when Vanson attacks from behind and wipes out most of the AIs. Vanson then pursues the remaining AIs back to their ship and destroys it during liftoff. Later, Vanson reflects on the mission and takes grim satisfaction from the outcome when he realizes she destroyed 2 AIs responsible for the death of her family. So that was a neat story. It's kind of a bottle story, but it's pretty good. And then episode 4, called Mutiny, it's one of those suspenseful episodes where the members of the 58th are struggling against an unknown enemy in treacherous region of space with a damaged ship. Hawks discovers that the ship they are traveling
wait.
on is taking.
We are not covering that one.
What are we doing?
No, Mutiny is episode 4. When you, Gary, that's a mistake I made when we started watching the top 10 list. Mutiny is episode 4 if you count the pilot as 1 and not 1 and 2. So
Yes,
actually, Mutiny is going to be
I
the
don't know
first
why
one.
IMDb lists the pilot like one big episode, and
Okay,
any other source.
So
That's the thing,
I
there's
asked the
two-
simple
there's two ways
question.
of counting
I asked the
Netflix.
simple question. What episode are we
Yeah,
on?
but I
Then?
answered it.
This is the
No, you didn't. What episode are we on? Which one is 4?
Hold on, I'm looking for the title.
oh
That's the question that I needed answered. The other
the
stuff doesn't help
farthest
me.
man from home. This is this should be. But
Oh, then the 4th episode is episode 3, the one I just described, Dark Side of the Sun. And Farthest Man
Yeah.
from Home. Okay, that's
Exactly,
what I
yeah.
asked. So we've already finished the Farthest Man from the Home, haven't we? I thought we were on episode Dark Side of the Sun.
This is the third act from the farthest man from home.
Okay. So when the USS Saratoga passes close to the planet Talos colony where the Earth colonists were attacked, West goes AWOL and flies down to the planet in hopes that his girlfriend Kylan somehow survived. Is the basic premise of that episode. So now I've read episode 3, Dark Side of the Sun, and that's the final episode that I just talked about, which I think has the best storyline of all of them.
I'm just torn. I don't know. They show in the first episode how they get separated because the girlfriend gets sent away. And then
Yes.
it takes them 2-3 more episodes to finally show her again. And it's like, oh, I forgot about her. She's that too, right? I think that's a bit long to keep her at bay and then throw her back into the story. I don't know.
To be honest, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, but then again, remember, I was squeezing this in whenever I had time, and often I was tired. So when she came back up, I was like, oh, I forgot about her.
No, you cannot forget about her because fucking West is reminding you all the time about her.
So to do a real good breakdown of this episode, it starts with the United States Army Special Forces sent a team to rescue a survivor from the Telos colony, and rumors begin saying that there are more survivors from the colony still on Telos. One of the managers from the corporation arrives on the Saratoga, and Nathan is suspicious that something is going on. After Nathan has talked to the survivor in secrecy, he finds out that Kylan is still alive and is determined to go there and find her. He steals an SA-43 Hammerhead and flies to Telos. That is an offense probably not survivable
Yeah,
as
right.
a character, just telling you. So McQueen, TC is pissed, but nevertheless, he does not send a patrol after Nathan because Telos is under the control of the chick. Shane Vanson asks Cooper to accompany her to Telos during a patrol flight. During the starting sequence, McQueen nods towards Vanson, giving her his approval to look for Nathan. Meanwhile, West's SA-43 is damaged over Talos, but he manages to land it. He finds a name tag on which Kylan tells Nathan that he should look for her in higher reaches. He sets out towards the mountains and finds a cave, which is a burial place for the aliens. He finds 2 female survivors hiding there. Ashford tells him that Kylan hid in the cave with them as well, but was captured by pigs. The survivors give him their location, and he sets out to find the camp. As he approaches the alien camp, he sees captives being boarded onto an alien transport, but is unable to rescue them. Cooper and Shane arrive on Tullus, but after the attack of the enemy missiles, Cooper is hit and crash lands his hammerhead. He looks for Nathan and eventually finds him. From the two survivors, they learn that the aliens bury their dead, just as humans do, but with one difference: they fear their dead. There's something we should have really gone into season 1. Shane returns to the Saratoga and reports that Hawks has been shot down. McQueen suspects that Cooper has followed Nathan to Talos, and he sends out a transport to retrieve them. Nathan watches the alien transport leaving the planet and Kylan aboard. Sewell takes the survivors away when they arrive on the Saratoga. Nathan and Cooper and Shane and McQueen get reprimanded by Commodore Ross, but he does not court-martial them because this incident is hushed up, as basically they need all hands on deck and they can't afford to lose anybody from the 58. Is why there's nothing done. So there you go. And they take on the name, at that point, the Wild Cards for their squad.
That's when
And
you
that's
get
it.
it first, right?
Yeah.
I thought they had earlier.
And now here begins man, Dark Side of the Sun. With Vanson's recurrent nightmare. I remember it's in pilot. Yes, it's in pilot when Hawks gets awakened by her nightmare because she's making sounds and moaning. And at this point, everybody is used because she continues to have the same dream with the same effects, but nobody pays attention anymore.
Yep. And of course she's haunted by the events surrounding her family's death during the Silicate War back in 2044. So, in order to protect the mining
Oh,
operation
look who's
on
here.
Benuel, what?
Look who's here. Sneaked
Yes.
into the
Oh, it's
back
Mikey.
door.
Talk
Mike,
about
yes.
some stupid schlub.
I give
making
out.
the show.
Stop trying to bring yourself through puberty by reading the dirty magazines. You make the pages stick together.
Yes,
Um,
exactly. When
I need to
that
know this,
happens when
Meg.
my testicles come down.
That's a Robin Williams joke. So anyway, the 58th is sent to supervise the shipping of helium-3, which all of us know now is on the moon, our moon, in real life, and in an abundance there. So upon landing at the mined colony, everything appears hunky-dory. But the Marines find out that all the workers have been killed by silicates. One by one, the Marines are killed or captured by the AIs, except for Shane and Nathan. They retreat to the communication room where they dismantle an AI to get the exact coordinates where their friends are. Meanwhile, Cooper is taunted by Felicity O unit because he is an in vitro, and he challenges to take a chance. Felicity poses a game of blackjack, which I brought up before, a game of chance, where it's like if I win, we go free. If you win, you get to execute me. Now, at first, Cooper wins a few hands, but then the AIs who are linked to each other by chips notice that one of the units has been destroyed, and now he has to gamble for their lives. He loses, but before they are killed, Shane and Nathan rescue them. They split up, and Shane pursues a silicate to find out why her parents had to die. The captured unit informs her from the memory chip that it was determined on the toss of a fucking coin. Angry, he kills the unit and sets out to rescue her friends who have been cornered. Cooper tells Nathan that he is determined to kill as many of the AIs as possible. See, I got to tell you something. I get it that they want to, create this universe, but what they're doing is they're creating two enemies, and it gets confusing of who is who. And it's one of the things that confused me. I'm like, who are these AIs? Are they part of the chicks? It was so confusing to me.
No.
Why?
Not to me, because in Stargate Atlantis, you have the Wraith and then you have the Replicants, and it works. It's just two different.
I don't think they make it clear. I don't think they make it clear at all.
Yes, they made. Well,
I don't know. I just kind of figured it was like a backstory that they were eventually gonna, visit.
Yes,
like flesh out a little bit more. That's what I got out of it.
I think more time should have been spent explaining who
That's
the AIs are from the very beginning, because it was something they were clearly already dealing with. So anyway, Cooper tells Nathan that he is determined to kill. Cooper tells Nathan that he is determined to kill as many AIs as possible before he is killed himself. When they run out of ammo, the Marines think that they have reached the end. When they hear sniper fire, they think that the AIs are attacking again. But when the fire dies down suddenly, they sneak out to see what's actually happened. Shane has killed all of the AIs single-handedly to prevent the silicates from fleeing from the precious with the precious helium-3. Shane follows them and shoots them down with an RPG of some sort. She is not entirely satisfied, but is at peace, because at least she now knows why her family died. For nothing. For a game of chance. There you go. It's binary thought. Oh, we lost Mike. So binary thought. Kill, don't kill. Go, don't go.
Yeah, and it's man, that that was a shitty situation, because what started the whole thing with the AI was a disgruntled employee who modified their code, and with a single instruction that was take a chance. So for them, you could say gambling, but yes, everything for them is rolling a dice, and all that they do revolves around that. Of course, I suppose that disgruntled employee didn't have any idea of the shit show he was going to create that ended up in a war.
Isn't it sad, though, that even 600 years in the future, employers still give zero fucks about their employees and create circumstances like that? You should have learned by now, actually, but not even 600 years into the future. That's sad. How is humanity still
the way I see the little insert of the AI, the whole AI simulants, kind of backstory. It's kind of like how when you watch the good Indiana Jones movies, right? And there's always like kind of like a story before the main story. That's kind of like what it is to me, right? It's like there's a story that's there somewhere, and that probably later on in this series it might flesh it out a little bit more. But I mean, obviously, it never really did much, but you knew it was there. So that's kind of the way I see it. But what do I know? I'm only a YouTuber.
At least you admit it. As
Well,
opposed
yeah.
to other people in the community.
Oh.
So there's a funny comment that I caught just a second ago. There it is. Flipping coins, the silicates put the Chig in Chigur, which is the villain in Country for
Oh yes.
Country,
No Country for Old Men. Yes.
No Country for Old Men. That's it. Which they kept mispronouncing and calling him Sugar. 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 Sugar.
I'm not even gonna try.
No, that's how it was
Yeah,
pronounced in the
you might
movie.
break your
His
tongue,
name was
Marty.
Sugar. This guy goes, Sugar. He goes, no, Sugar. And it's, well, okay. And he is just a nasty hombre, psychotic.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, back to this. So I thought that was a funny comment. But go ahead, guys.
Well,
Go.
I'm having a
Okay.
Go,
day.
Mike.
no, I actually still have all these episodes on my hard drive. I was so disappointed when it went off air. It's just another, stupid Fox decision at that time to just, we got some, pretty half decent graphics. We got a good story. Oh, no, we're gonna cancel it. It's like,
Yeah, we
fuck.
mentioned that at the beginning. They fucked
I know.
Firefly too, and a couple of other shows. I mean,
Yeah.
fuck them for doing that.
Yeah, they
Shitty
I
behavior.
really got to compliment them on the aircraft design. I like it.
Oh, I
don't
love
know-
the hammerheads.
Oh yeah, the hammerheads are like, they're like really, really cool looking, pretty unique, right? And I mean, I don't know if aeronautically speaking, it's a viable design. Maybe it is, I'm not into that kind of stuff, but I liked the design. It was like really cool looking design,
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. After I saw the F-117 can fly,
Yeah.
dude, I am not surprised about anything.
But and I don't know, maybe if I am going too further into this, because I don't know, Gary, if you're going to go through this episode by episode, but I like the fact that somewhere along in this series that when they actually meet up with the Chigs, that they don't like that term because they find it like a great insult to call them that.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, in the history of warfare, I guarantee you, any of the nicknames we gave the enemy was not appreciated by the enemy.
Oh no, of course not.
Because we don't be complimentary. We're
No.
we are trained mentally in the military to dehumanize the enemy. Makes it easier to kill another person when you dehumanize them.
However, I do
and
like
absolutely it's necessary.
because I love the
It is
sauerkraut.
necessary in warfare to do that.
Oh yeah, of course.
Now, they want
People
to talk,
don't like
no?
that. I don't give a shit.
Because they called us the stinky blood.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Hey, because flying vehicles, for lack of a better word, came up. Have we talked about how awesome it is, how the way they click the cockpits into the planes?
Yes, I like that.
So
That was
cool, right?
Yeah, that is a really, really good idea. I love that.
I saw it the
Right?
first time. I was like, "Oh, that is awesome! How they're doing."
You
it.
know what? You know what that reminds me of? I'm gonna say it right now. It reminds me of like some of the old Japanese shows, like say like Voltron or Battle of the Planets, which is Gatchaman in Japan and stuff like that. Where they
Yeah,
go through this. Yeah, they go through like this hole in the wall or whatever it is, down a slide, and then like into a seat that goes down into like in Voltron, like into the lions or into the spaceship, like in some sort of anime. And that's the message that I got out of this. Is like, oh, this is so cool. It just plugs right in, and away you go. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think it was done for more of dramatic purposes, so they can have big arguments in the bay.
That's true.
Probably, yeah.
There, the
Also-
thing that
also
this
to
show is
look at the
missing.
cool tech that we have.
Yes.
One of the things this show is missing that I think is important if you're going to do military shows, the grab assery. There's just not much of it, and I don't think it's very good. Some of the grab assery they try to show, because it's important and essential. It's part of the relationship building in the military, because it's through your grabastic humor and just being stupid, or as some people like to call it, getting retarded, that helps you bond with other people.
But they don't have that, I think, because they are supposed to be the elite and they are above that. That's what I took from that.
That doesn't exist anywhere. When you're in the military, when it comes to your downtime, you are grabastic because that's how you build your bond, with one another.
I mean, they do have banter to some extent, but
no, I see they try to do it, but it's not very good.
Yeah, they didn't pull it off.
It's not very good. It's weak. It's kung fu is weak. What was this? It was very G-Force Science Ninja Team Gatchaman.
Yeah.
I mean, because we just watched an action movie with Harrison Ford. It's almost like you're doing fight scenes without knowing how to throw a punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because something Ford admitted to in real life. He says, I never want to fight. I'm not very good at fighting. And it kind of comes through in some of his action scenes. Back when I was a kid, that stuff looked awesome because he learned how to throw Hollywood punches. But the problem is he doesn't know how to throw a punch. And he does this hesitation in the middle of a punch. He's done it multiple times in different films, a mid-punch hesitation. And I'm like, well, what do you think's going to fucking happen when you connect with that? Nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be surprised if you'd even connect with somebody if you do that. So, but I like this show. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm very critical of it. I'm critical of it because I think that the show failed because of its production. I think the budgets were too high. And I think that they went with a studio network that is notorious for betraying their productions. Notorious for it.
Yeah.
They have a worse reputation than any other network for doing that shit. But I would love to see this show redone and done with somebody that knows what they're doing. Because like the first pilot film and the first 2.5 seasons of Battlestar Galactica under Moore, I thought was very well written and well done. They did some alterations that I was like, but at the same time, on its own, I couldn't argue with that. It wasn't good. It was good. I liked what they did.
It's another one I never got into. I started to watch that because the Salty Nuts were planning to do a trivia on it, and I watched the pilot, and I was like, I don't know. And then for reasons, whatever, they dropped the trivia night, and I was like, yeah, okay, I guess I won't continue watching this. I don't know. That probably needed more time because I only watched the pilot, but I don't know. I get
well, by doing what they did in the pilot, they were able to somewhat please legacy fans because they did include in one scene the original Battlestar Galactica theme. It's during the ceremony.
Yeah,
you hear it.
Yeah, but you see stuff like that goes right over my head because I go in this knowing nothing.
Yeah, but I'm explaining
completely
why.
Different.
And by doing that, they became, well, fans became friendlier with them over what they did. And then when they hired Richard Hatch, that was the olive branch that won a lot of fans over. So they started watching. I was already watching it because I just like really good science fiction, and I like Ronald D. Moore's writing for the most part. Not always, because he does stuff like the last 2 seasons of For All Mankind just dumb. I just don't like it. You know, it's like he had me early, but then the last 2 seasons, I'm out. And I think that series should conclude. I think it's already run its course and shouldn't go any further. But I do like Ronald D. Moore. I also liked what he did with that virus show he did on Sci-Fi, because originally they were going to do The Thing, sci-fi miniseries, not a film, but a
Really?
miniseries. And Ronald D. Moore was directly involved with that, and then that got shit canned. And so he took some of his ideas from that and turned it into that series that he did. It's a 2-season series. Everybody goes, well, I love season 2. I'm like, no, they went off the rails with season 2. They kind of went off the rails in the last 3 episodes of the 4th season. And that's when they lost me. I'm like, no, this is not, no, see, you were trying to entice fans of The Thing. That's why he did that. They were trying to entice fans of The Thing to watch this. And then they did what they did as they moved towards the end of the season, and they lost all of us. It's like, no, you went the wrong direction with this. It should have been something that was found in the ice that is not of terrestrial nature, not some shit you fucking worked up in a lab. I was like, oh, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah.
That's too close to reality for me. Because, you know, Wuhan's not the first, nor is it going to be the last fucking medical accident.
That's true.
That's why I find this new movie that's coming out with, what's her name from The Matrix. She's got a new, let me go find it real quick.
Carrie-Anne Moss?
I watched, Carrie-Anne Moss's new thing.
Oh,
it's
really?
not loading. There we go. So she's got a new sci-fi horror movie coming out. And the premise sounded interesting until they got to the disease part of it. It's always nature. It's like, no, nature doesn't create these viruses, dumbass. It's nature getting back at us. What the fuck ever.
Yeah.
It goes back to this premise.
It goes back to this stupid Gaia worship crap that, you know, the earth thinks we're a virus, and it must have come up with this virus to battle us who are actually the virus. That's complete and utter bull crap. Like, it's so retarded. And I'm so sick of hearing this from,
it's such a terrible premise, and it's so overused.
Exactly.
It's an overused device. The name of the film is Die Alone. It will come out this year.
Oh, well,
here it is.
I'm just hoping that movie can die alone.
It's got a good cast. It's got Frank Grillo in it, and I like Frank Grillo a lot. I think this dude is fucking awesome. So here it is, Die Alone. And I watched the trailer, and the minute it got to it's the Earth fighting back thing, and I'm just like, I'm out. I checked out and wasn't interested in it anymore.
You do that
like,
DeForest Kelly facepalm kind of thing. Like,
You never even sent me that trailer to watch it, so that's how bad it is.
You were asleep when I watched it, so.
Yeah, but if I'm sleeping and you watch good trailers, you make me watch the next day if they're good or look promising.
Yeah, I'm not going to have you watch
heard
it.
About that movie.
First of all, it's a horror film, so no, I'm not going to send it to you. The one thing I thought was interesting is that one of the main characters, played by this kid, I don't know who he is, Douglas Smith. His character has amnesia. He was in an accident, and his girl was missing when he woke up, and he had trouble remembering things. You know, so. That's always an interesting premise or plot device. What I want is a story. And the basic premise of the story is stupid. So I'm out. Plot. People think that plot's important. It's like, no, it's not. Story is important. The premise of your story is important. You know, the premise of a story. A premise isn't a fucking device. A plot is. You can have a story without a plot, but you can't have a plot, a plot with no story. It goes one way. It's not a two-way street. So, but anyway, I thought it was derivative. The premise, derivative, way derivative. So I'm going to sway away from it. And I'm sure my buddy Mark Lee Sinner, because Mark Lee goes in with each movie accepting whatever their reality is in that. And I understand it. I respect that. But I can't watch a film that way. I have to have a film challenge me and entertain me. Challenge me and entertain me. And if I don't feel that, I'm out.
May I say something? Completely unrelated?
No.
Okay, I won't.
Well, I have something related to say or ask.
I'm kidding.
In what way do movies?
Mike
like
has
Strange
no
Brew
command
challenge
here,
you?
Martin.
I know.
Martin,
After-
fucking
after-
say something. You have more command here than he does.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Come on.
That's what it's
Ladies
on.
first. Come on, Anima.
No, I asked my question. It was like, in what way do movies like Strange Brew challenge you, Gary?
Oh, that's a good one.
I said they either need to challenge me or at least entertain me.
Okay, so it's just at the table.
I said it to qualify that because I don't
I
have to be
didn't-
challenged by every film. Sometimes I will check my hat at the door, or brain at the door, if I'm going to be at least entertained properly.
It sounded to me like you say challenge and entertain. That's
And
one
or.
word that lost. I'm
It's an
sorry.
and or
Where
thing
the freak is
because there are some
And-
films I like that I don't think are the smartest fucking things, but they're
Oh, fuck
intelligent
yeah,
in
no.
their humor because it's very clever humor.
Yeah.
Care Bear,
Say
what's
it.
up, Zach?
Hey, Zax. Kyle.
Hey, fuck you, Kyle.
Sorry, I didn't want to.
Better late than
There-
never, huh?
Got my attention.
And,
But I was going to say
and this is why Animan.
about the
Oh,
whole
sorry,
thing
go ahead.
of challenging and shit. And my very unpopular opinion about Alien Romulus that it's a crap movie.
It is.
I was today watching a video from Robot Head, and I felt so vindicated because he said everything that I have said about that piece of crap movie. I'm sorry, Christopher Moonlight. That movie is crap.
Oh, does he like
Oh, it
it?
is.
Oh yes, he liked it.
But Gary and I kind of fast forwarded through it. And,
I was bored by it, and I did not
Yeah.
like the member berries in it at all. The way they were used. They were used there deliberately as member berries, and I fucking hated it. So anyway, this is a film that I chuckled at the fucking trailer. It's basically what I refer to this as is like a more mature adult version of the Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
I mean, when you see these guys, they're puppets. Clearly, they're fucking puppets. These tiny creatures, and they're not from our universe or from our reality. And it's just, I saw this and I'm like, this looks so fucking weird. But I chuckled at the damn trailer. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch this. I doubt I'll watch
Sometimes
this
you
with
need
Anima
weird.
because I guarantee you, Anima will fucking hate this movie. I guarantee fucking you, she will hate
And he knows
every
well
second of
by
this
now.
movie. And she's like, "Oh, that's it. I'm out. You can have date night by yourself. I'm done." You know.
Come
and,
on, you have to at least give me that I try. And sometimes I last
Anima.
as long as 15 minutes before saying, please, can we stop this? I always try.
Anima, what did I tell you? Sonic 1 and 2.
Does this
Yeah,
movie
yeah,
have?
I know. I told Gary I was on your stream in the chat and you were lecturing me because I knew shit about what you guys were talking about because I grew up sad and without TV and comics and shit. Games.
Gary, does this movie has moist spiders?
Fuck you, Martin.
Moist.
Spiders.
Moist. spiders.
Oh my god, guys. I had to fill in at the cash register for a moment because the cashier had she got dizzy and I was standing there anyway because I don't even know. She was like, can you take over the next customer because he was busy? And I said, yeah, sure. So it's this group of 4 girls and they give me the items, I scan them, and then they call out to the 4th girl in a row who had turned her head away.
Right.
Hey, you said you were going to pay this. And she turns her head around and says, yes. And on her right ear is this huge fucking spider that was an earring, but I almost jumped out
Oh,
of my
God.
seat.
Whoa, 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 whoa. We
And
we
then
have
it
Monkey
was messed
Jeebus
up.
and Bangman's girl with us.
Makajibas.
What's up? What's up? So he was asking what movie. Tell him.
Alien member berries. I mean Romulus.
Romulus.
Whatever.
I just
Yeah.
They
you know,
hyped it and
they
it was
tried to
just-
act like they were going to respect the first Alien and Aliens, and that this is going to take
Oh.
place between. And
Mhm.
they misled us in believing that it would have no. They intentionally misled us in acting like it wasn't going to be
Right.
part of the prequels that Ridley made, which are terrible.
Yes,
And
this movie.
but I knew
completely-
something was up when you saw the android Andy pick up something that clearly had black goo in it. We knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I was hoping, and then they broke my heart. You know, that Michael Corleone scene. You broke my heart.
You broke
You
my
know,
heart.
Yeah.
I knew what they did the moment they show the log that there are 36 face huggers and they have chest bursters.
You counted them? What's wrong with
No,
you?
they say it. They say it.
Okay,
They
okay.
log. They're checking the logs. There are 36 of them. Where did they get them if they don't have a queen? Oh, again the same shit that the aliens transform people into eggs. Fuck you.
Yeah.
yeah, that idea by Ridley was stupid.
The xenomorph now has the most complicated life cycle of any organism that has ever existed in the history of the universe.
But it's okay because the xenomorph doesn't need to eat. Fucking hell.
My big hatred with the whole prequels thing is, especially with it being like created by David and all this other stuff, the series no longer should be called Alien. It should be called Domestic, because this shit just came from us. There's
Like,
nothing
oh,
alien about
okay.
Alien.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You know, she called the cops for domestic abuse.
If anything, humanity is the aliens to the alien, because it's the progenitor. Because apparently they
Of course,
worship
that
them
is
or some shit
that,
like that.
that is why the engineers wanted to kill us all because we're a pest.
Well, we are, even in reality,
And
to be honest.
I
Speak
do
for
have
yourself.
control.
hence
There's
the new
easier
Carrie Ann
ways to
Moss
control a
movie.
species than black goo that seemingly grows and kills things, depending on what the writer wants at the moment.
I agree.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, and
Oh,
I
man.
feel bad because I think the actors did a good job. Many people say have told to be, oh, the characters are stupid. The characters are twins. Of course, they're gonna be stupid. And the guy
That's
who
how it
played the
is.
android, man, that guy really stole the show.
Oh yeah, dude there.
But the script,
Well, yeah.
I can bet that script was made with AI. They say to the AI, read all the previous script and make a new one with pieces of those, and boop, there you have it.
Well, yeah,
No.
here I thought this was going to turn out to be, you know, a pretty good movie. It's like, all right, fine. There's a few little Easter eggs here and there, you know, and it's like it starts out as the first Alien movie in a way, with a little mix of Aliens, right? The second movie, and then it goes immediately into like Alien 4 by the end of the movie.
Yes,
And I'm
the
like,
whole movie was a remake of Alien 4.
Yeah, it's like, what the actual fudge is this?
It's worse. It's worse.
Yes.
Alien 4 did it better. I hate
Yes.
to even say that.
I know, right? And it's so bad to say that. Just so bad. What the actual fudge is this crap, man?
Why is it everyone's idea of a scary monster now is some weird thin guy? I mean, I get Slender Man was popular, but come on.
I thought it's probably like some sort of weird Hollywood, demonic friggin' fetish that they have.
I mean, the
That's-
X-Files did it all the way back. They had this guy that could make himself so thin he could go through an escalator, and he was living off livers. And because
That's
I
true.
watched this episode with my mom, I spent the whole night awake, and when I had to pee, I had to climb out my window and go in the garden because I was too scared to use the fucking toilet. So it works. That's why they keep using it. It works. I'm not making this shit up. That's true.
Hey, don't knock the X-Files, man. The X-Files had some genuinely
Spiders.
terrifying episodes. Home
Yes.
Alone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is-
there's some
yeah,
things that
so-
just trigger people, and that's why they keep using it when they want to
Oh,
create.
man.
quote,
My
unquote,
general
horrible
feeling for all of this, everything from Alien 3 to today
Yeah.
is this.
Massive worldwide attack.
From what intelligence has gathered, it would be 9/11 times 100.
Massive worldwide.
9/11 times.
11,900.
No, it
Yes.
starts with a 9. It'll start with the 9. So anyway, I don't want to go too far into it because I'm really not fond of Romulus. There's some cool shit in it. I love the alien scenes. It's the effects and the aliens that I watched that in that film that I enjoyed. Past that, it was just fucking a waste of my time. So if I could edit out all of the actors and just have the aliens doing their shit and the special effects, I'll watch it again. I'll do a fan edit.
Yeah.
So let's see. What am I doing today? Am I doing this one?
Yeah, because other than that, it was good.
I should do that one
That's a good
because you
one.
got to figure out if this is a true story or not. So
All right.
let's begin. So, did I once make a college student take off an Army Green Beret just to get the attention of a pretty girl? Do you think me that kind of person?
Yes.
And also, if you have questions, guys, fire away.
Oh,
Gotta
did
ask me.
you?
What?
What was the scenario? Where were you?
Yeah. Where did it happen?
I once made a college student take off an Army Green Beret just to get the attention of a pretty girl.
What
Because
kind
you
of
guys know, I
pretty
went
girl?
to several colleges. I wasn't about a degree. I was about continued education. So almost always between 87 to 2009, I was in and out of a lot of colleges. I always got good grades, but I didn't care to stay. I wasn't interested in a degree. But I love the campus life, and I like to go bar hopping. I had great roommates in college that were with me on the bar hopping, always, everywhere. And
Nice.
except for one time when I was going to college with my wife when I was in the Army, we were going to college together. And that was one time I didn't go bar hopping. It was terrible. So, but I was in college. And do you want to know what college, or is that important?
Oh, I
No, we
wanted
just
to
wanted
know
to
if you
know
were
where did
on
it
a
happen.
bar or
Yeah.
what.
I was in a bar.
Okay.
Oh, where the best ideas are brewed.
Where are you drunk? Or getting there?
Yes, I was
How
getting
drunk?
there. I don't slur my speech. I don't stagger. So it's really kind of hard to explain, but I was
Okay, so not
about
drunk enough.
I had probably drank about 4 pints of Guinness in an hour, in under an hour, and that's a lot. Of, it's a lot of
You had a
Guinness
question
in
before,
under an hour.
Mike, that
Yeah, it's a
overlaps
lot.
with my
It's a lot
question.
of beer, but there's a lot of Gary too. I mean, you're huge,
Yeah.
so
So you're
It's
pretty
one of the
much like
reasons I couldn't
Newfoundland
handle
drunk.
it. Yeah. By the time other people, but by the time I'm drunk, somebody else would have been passed out.
oh yeah,
You know, because I can still handle my booze, even though I don't drink anymore. I occasionally like to have a brew, and it doesn't affect me. So what's the next question?
okay. Was the guy that you convinced to perform the act a roommate of yours?
No.
Eh?
I was at the bar with my buddy, and I turned and I saw this guy, and he was sitting with a really pretty girl. I mean, she was really pretty, and she had come over to the bar and talked to me, and I was really engaged, and clearly she was interested in me, but she was with this guy.
And that's the guy that you made take down the Green Beret.
And I was still active. I was still active service at the time. So
blonde, redhead, brunette.
I was trying to find some means to get rid of this guy.
Mike asked about the hair color, in case you didn't catch that.
What about the hair color?
On brunette.
The girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's what I would call
not you.
She was between auburn and dirty blonde, right in that area.
No. Like almost a strawberry blonde kind of thing, but darker.
Not quite strawberry. There's ginger in there, but it wasn't as profound. Yes, it did. Thank you, Snort, for asking a pertinent, important question. Yes, it did.
Snorty is awesome.
Yes, Snort is the bearer of knowledge.
So the guy knew what he was up to. How did you convince him to do that?
Now, back in the day, because someone was asked about this the other day, why did John Lennon put on military fatigues with insignia and regalia? And yeah, I didn't want to weed you out and show what a noob you are, not knowing shit. So I was just saying generically, but yes, it was you. And the reason why, there were two reasons. One, he actually was anti-war, but he was very pro-soldier, British and American, and Australian. He was a big fan of those in the military. But he more so in the 60s in particular, going into the early 70s, it was very popular to wear military rags. Okay. And but veterans didn't like it, and it's why it kind of went out of fashion. Even I was wearing my dad's army coat one day when I was a teenager, and a guy who knew me was a former special forces guy, but he was drunk out of his fucking mind. And I'm in the 7-Eleven trying to microwave a burger. And this is like right when they first started having the burgers. I remember this. And I'm standing there in this big long coat from the U.S. Army.
Right.
And he walked, there was no patches on it. It was just my old dad's coat. And he got pissed at me, told me to take it off. I said, I'm not taking it off because it's fucking cold out. And he said, you weren't in the military. You don't have the right. So this was kind of my echo of that moment when I did what I did. So next question.
Ample on the top or the bottom, if you know what I mean.
The girl. Was
the
she?
girl?
Yeah.
Oh, she was one of those girls.
Again, not you.
Full figure. She's a full figure and a little thick. And I found that sexy as shit. She was not Rubenesque, but more like a Frazetta woman.
Okay.
I like the way she wore her hair. She pulled it back into a ponytail, but it wasn't that fucking brain type pull. It was a more relaxed look, and it was just, I don't know, there was something sexy about it. But when she was talking to me, she had brought something up about a certain author that I really liked at the time. And I was like, oh, and so we talked for a minute, and then she brought up some other stuff. And because this is how I met a lot of females that I would go out with, is we would sit down and we'd be talking about psychology, science, or literature, one of those three. And I would feel very engaged. And that's what she did with me. And she went back to the booth with this guy. And I realized she likes me, she digs me, but she's with this guy, and I need to fix the problem, is what I thought.
Was there a happy end? Did you get the girl?
Well, I'm not getting there. We still got some stuff here to weed out. We're in the weeds.
How big was the guy?
And about just
he was a good size. Yeah. He wasn't a total fucking dweeb. He was about 6 foot and close to about probably 180 pounds. Big guy. Somebody that would be a good adversary for me in a fight. So what the lump shoe us, and then she says talk to text. So what did you mean to say, Penny?
Oh.
Are we getting any questions? You need to let me know if we have questions from the chat.
Was she voluptuous?
Snorty is another one.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. She was very much a Frazetta girl.
Did he take it off, or did he cup a tooth? I need to. What is that?
Basically, you need to ask what I said. Is the next question. What did you say to the guy? And
gee, Gary, what did you say to the guy?
There we go. Thank you,
Mike.
Thank you, Mike, for saving the fucking day.
You're welcome.
I walked up to the table, and I immediately addressed her. I went, hey, look, man, I don't want to be a dick, but look, man, I'm in the military, and I'm not digging you wearing that hat. That hat is the U.S. Army Special Forces beret, specifically a green beret. And you've got the regalia on it, and you should have taken it off. If you're not going to take that off, you need to take the hat off, and you shouldn't be wearing a hat indoors anyway. So, look, man, before there's a problem, take the fucking hat off.
And then the dude said,
and this is the moment where you determine where it's going to go if they break eye contact with you, and you don't. He broke eye contact with me and looked at his friends, then looked back at me, and then sheepishly said, man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean any offense. And he took the hat off. And I went, thank you. And I turned and I saw her, and she just gave me this little smile. It wasn't a huge one. It was one of those slight smiles. And before I walked past her, I said, we should finish that conversation about that book.
Yeah.
And after a few minutes went by, she found her way out of that table and to come over and finish the conversation with me. And I got her number, and yes, we did go out. And it was fun. That's all I'm going to say.
It's like
it's
like an episode of.
Did I just make that up? Because I wrote that out days ago. Did I just make up this whole story?
Yes, you did.
Yes.
Or did that really happen? And nobody asked what college.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No, because people know you went to multiple.
I'm not going to tell you now.
There was fake college, and it's not important for the story, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
We just like the fact that you're educated.
No, I just menaced
That's
him.
enough for us.
All I have to do is be menacing, and a lot of guys will leave me the fuck alone. I mean, once they see me stand up, they have a tendency of going, hey, man, everything's cool.
Okay.
They'll talk shit on the interwebs, but you fucking meet me in a bar. Now, I'm not saying there weren't dudes that wanted to fight me, because Patty was there that one night, and I kept telling her, I said, we got to go. This guy's eyeballing the shit out of me. He wants to fight me. I can tell. And he was working up when he was going to come over. And she wasn't listening to me. And when he got up, I said, he's coming over here. We need to go now, unless you want to see me beat the shit out of somebody. And she goes, "Oh, I don't want to see that." I went, "Save this guy," because I would have killed him. Quantum age, like somebody says, "I'm small, but I'm wiry." I said, "I like spaghetti." So you're not going to be all over me. I'm going to eat the shit out of you and then shit you out later. So wiry doesn't work with me. Mass and power is the only way to beat me in a fight. So
No, the way to beat you in a fight is tire you out.
that's the other way, but that's since I've gotten older. I told a friend of mine one day, he was sparring with me, and he goes,
"Tickle party."
He says, "Man," he says, "it's hard to get a move in on you because you're faster than you look." No, I know. And I said, "You want to know how to beat me in a fight?" He says, "How?" And then I turned around and went over to the sofa. I said, "Wear me out," because I was already tired and I didn't want to spar with him anymore. So I guess nobody else has done it. So I've got to go make the thingy.
The poll.
So people can fucking do it. I gave you guys the fucking ability to do it, and you just won't
You
fucking
gave me
do it.
admin rights. You haven't taught me how to do a fucking poll yet.
Exactly.
It's simple. Go to the chat and you hit the plus symbol by the chat. And
I don't have that.
It does everything for you.
Hold on, let me check if I have that.
I don't have a plus symbol. Hey! What the fuck?
What? I'm just a tag along.
No. What? I'm being bamboozled. I don't have the plus symbol in the chat.
Oh my god. Well.
Oh, we have the first unofficial vote. Benny says,
"No, the poll's
you're
there now.
full of crap."
I've got it done. There you go. There you go.
It's
because I'm trying to plan these things out now.
Nah, fair enough.
This poll doesn't help me. Okay, now it's getting a tendency. Okay,
there we go. 7 votes. Let's keep going, guys. It's 32 people watching. Please take the vote. And
hit the like button.
Yeah, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, update for the
Leave a
notifications to the bell icon. Always check your bell icon is selected because they have deselected people. YouTube is notorious for that, especially with channels that are edgy.
And
I'm not going to answer that.
The more you get people to vote if this story was true or not.
Yeah, I will answer that after you guys
It's
figure it out. Because you got to figure out if this story is even true. Ooh, 50-50. What?
Ooh. Wow.
They're doing it again. As soon as it gets off balance, somebody votes it 50-50 again. It's a conspiracy.
Well, you two can still vote. Actually, Mike, you need to vote too.
I did.
Oh, I voted.
Natsuki?
I did too.
I already said you're lying.
48 votes. Come on, people. Vote better than this. Cal, Kenny, all of you vote. Venkman's girl, come on.
Well, to be honest, according to StreamYard, we only have 11 people in YouTube. The
On
rest is
YouTube,
freaking X.
Fuck, man.
I love this.
So, for all of you that are X, go to YouTube so you can vote.
Also, go to YouTube for the chat. This is where the fun is, guys.
That's right.
I've got a way of dealing with this.
We got the hookers and blow here.
Jesus Christ. Like, remind me again why I like you and let you in here.
Because I'm naughty. Because for a Canadian, I'm not your average sounding Canadian.
I don't believe you're Canadian. You never say you're sorry.
Wait. Neither has said ever. Eh?
No, I haven't. No, because that's an Ontario thing.
Yeah.
And even though I
Yeah,
was
I
born
did
in town down Toronto, I've never picked up the A thing. Never. So, because shortly after that, pretty much around like 79, we moved to New Brunswick. God, I don't know why. And even in New Brunswick, they don't do the A. I don't know. It's like a Southern Ontario kind of weird thing, which is really weird.
Yeah, that's like you would think that all people in the United States say y'all, and that's a Southern thing.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Question. You think they were super happy when Happy Days came out and Fonz went, hey!
Hey! Yeah, I think so. Oh, man.
All right, I've ended the poll.
And
there we go.
Is it still 50-50?
No.
No. 54 to 45.
Oh, God, so close.
So which one won? Which one got the most votes?
False.
Oh, okay.
False.
Yeah.
Okay, so the vote was false. Now, Martin, what was yours?
True.
Anima.
Same. I think it's true.
Kanatsky.
False.
Mike?
I'm thinking false.
Okay, so two of you are false.
Yeah.
I once made a college student take off an army green beret just to get the attention of a pretty girl. The answer to that is, are you guys ready? Are you ready?
Oh!
I really did do it. And I banged the shit out of her for a while and then ghosted her.
That's why I needed to know whether there was a happy end or not.
Yeah, I know that. I knew that's what you were asking.
But I always think
She was one of the many girls. I've told this little story to Anima that I was a bad boy in college. I was a player. And I would ghost women. And I would do fucked up things to get their attention. And just because I thought it was funny. I thought this will make for a good story later. Seriously, it's the way my brain would work back then. This will make for a good story later if this works. And one of my favorites is the one I've told some of you about. I don't know if I've told the whole story to everybody in the chat. When I was Tom's Irish cousin from Derry, Ireland.
Really?
At a club. And I got introduced to these two girls as his Irish cousin Jerry from Derry, Ireland. It was one of those moments, I'm not going to tell you what happened. But I immediately, when he said who I was, and here he is, this is my cousin Jerry from Ireland. I immediately created a character. And you just got to figure out the next time I tell the story if it's true or not. So, but there you go. So I can also have Zoe say it.
Hi. That tale that Gary just told you is absolutely a true story.
And she's somebody who's experienced some of the insanity of being a friend with me. Even though I don't really do anything, just things kind of happen.
Yeah, right.
Around me. But I did provoke that situation because I needed to up the ante because I dug that chick. I was like, oh, man, I like her. I got to get her away from this guy. I got to make this guy look like the pussy he is. And he'll go away.
Oh, man. That I do believe.
Unreliable, because of the fact that when you listen to me tell these stories, some of it's almost so fantastical. You're like, that can't be true. Yeah. And I don't embellish. I never embellish. Now, what I have done in the past is I've added additional dialogue just to make something funnier. But I won't embellish a story. I will tell pretty much point for point as fact. But I'll embellish. Because like there's been a few occasions where I've said something, then later I thought, oh, I said that wrong. I should have said it this way.
Right.
And from the point forward, that's how I'm going to tell that story. I'm going to say it correctly and not the way I said it at the moment. Because even though I'm quick thinking, sometimes I'll go back and second guess what I said. Oh, I should have added that to that. That would have made it funnier. But I don't even do that often. But I have done it.
No, I get it. You know, you got to refine the story. You know.
So, basically, you know, I like telling stories, and I'm a storyteller. But I guess we've come to the end of the show, and I know that because that's when Bruce says lines like this.
You, sir, are not one of my vassals. Who are you?
Who wants to know?
I am Henry the Red, Duke of Shale, Lord of the Northlands and leader of its peoples.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants. I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. And Jack left town.
Jack left town.
I
heard that night.
Movie.
I added that to my lexicon of things to say. You ain't leading anything but Jack and shit, and Jack left town. What a great line. Adega Outlaw is here. Let's see. Let me see who all was here. Get the private chat. Emmanuel, Andy Morrow, Christian Delorme. Happy birthday again, Christian. Eastland Burkholder, Boosh McFadden, FKHC 2005, a.k.a. Tim. D. Bud Martin, the hardest working wrench in all of our community. Max Demon was here, or Damon. Kingsport Cal, the Comic Relief Crusader, who is also on here with us right now.
Finally.
Shit Canadian Internet, which I don't know what that's about. Oh, that's Mike talking about Canadian Internet.
Yeah.
Really, it's not for comments. It's for me to read these names. But thanks, guys, for playing. Vinkman's Girl, Zax, Monkey Jeebus, bringing his A game today. No sleep. Oh, God damn it, Mike. Quantum Age Comics, Adega Outlaw. I have to stop fucking commenting in there.
Just read the names in three.
Yeah, but I'm reading as I'm going. I'm a spontaneous reader. I'm speaking as I'm reading. And so I immediately go to the next one. It's one of your fucking comments. And it's like, God damn it. I almost read BRB. Christ almighty. So anyway, guys, Tree Rock Creations is here too. My good buddy from Twitter. Thank you everybody for being here today. Thanks for joining
Penny
in.
wasn't on that list.
Was she not? I already said her
Oh,
name.
Tim? Okay.
I said Tim too. Yeah, Tim. So Snorter Poop is just to make sure. Always good to see you, buddy. I hope everybody had a good time. It was fun talking today, getting into shit. Pope had to leave early. Apparently he got drunk during the show. I think he was drinking before the show, and it really kicked in while the show was going. And I noticed it, and I'm like, he's going to get quiet in a little bit. And he did, because like he hit a point where he couldn't even talk anymore.
Well, it is Friday.
Well, he's celebrating, sort of, because I shouldn't say what, but he was kind of celebrating today. So
cool.
I love having Pope on. He's just fucking great, man. Debo Martin, I'll be talking Fantastic Four's issues 76 and 79 on J-Man's channel at the top of the hour. Outstanding. All right, how do I do not know how to dump us to another
You
channel.
can't anyway. You would have to stay live for another more than half an hour. You do a raid when they already start going. You can't dump them before they start the show.
No, you can.
I think you could do that once the show is live. I don't think you can dump your chat into a chat of a show that's not live yet. And what's the point anyway? Dump them to wait there for half an hour? I don't think that's a thing.
I'm Canadian. I couldn't figure this out.
Half an hour, yeah. So, yeah, we can do that. I don't know how to do it. Let me go in here.
I only know one thing.
I have to go learn stuff.
It'll put
someone else will talk while I'm doing this.
Fuck off.
Meanwhile,
I-
while Gary
I-
figures
I
out how
know
to
that-
do this shit, it pushes something old out of his brain as he learns how to do new shit. As he types
is a
away
lie.
on his keyboard like a madman.
Gary doesn't learn. Where did you
Oh,
get
that's-
this idea from that he does?
I know. Well, I'm trying to make it sound so dramatic and appealing to the audience that's out there in the chat right now. So, as he searches on Google furiously, he's trying to learn
I found what I'm trying to follow it.
how to do this so he can dump everybody else in the chat onto the channel. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh. But you need to
Meanwhile,
figure this
Debut
out.
Martin says you have to have permission from the other channel's owner, I think, too, though.
I
No,
don't
Penny
think
says
so.
call Tom. He can talk you through it.
Yeah, exactly.
Should he do that live though?
Probably. Meanwhile,
Could be
Penny
entertain-
says,
could be
"Oh, Tom
entertaining.
C. He can talk you through it." Ha ha ha. I'm just enjoying this so much on so many levels.
That's good.
I
Don't you
know.
want to be a part of the panel on the coming Fridays when we talk about this show, Mike? Because we
I-
really need
Whoops.
fans of this show.
Oh my god. He has left us.
I do. You know what? Oh, actually, okay, because while I'm here right now, I do want to say, aside from having the whole stupid GoFundMe thing going on, because I'm trying to make the rent happen thing. But yesterday I finally got a call from the people that were supposed to call me a few days ago before that. So Tuesday, 7 a.m, I start my new job.
Nice.
God
Yeah.
bless. Man,
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
congratulations.
Yeah, so it's one more thing that's off my brain right now. The only thing I just got to focus on is trying to make rent, and so I'm going to have to retool some things on my channel. And if you haven't subscribed to the Comic Relief Crusader, please find the channel, the Comic Relief Crusader, and subscribe now. And I'm gonna have to probably figure out a later time for Titillating Tuesdays, which is on Tuesdays. And on top of that, with the show I just did, Frantic Fridays, which is on Fridays. To be able to, do that a little later on. So, because I don't know exactly how long I'm going to be working for, in the day. So, it'll be interesting. But, first and foremost is taking care of family, and then channel second. So,
I'm just so glad you found a job.
oh, so am I. It's like, thank you, Jesus, that this finally happened. So, but yes, and thank you for putting the channel up.
You are
Yes.
welcome. I'm surprised Martine wasn't faster
Yes.
than I. Or Debug. They beat me too.
Yeah, Martine.
Oh, doesn't matter. I did it on the
So,
Pop Culture Minefield.
what is the channel that he's going to be on?
On J-Man's. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't post that because I'm following that channel. I just wanted to give
Yeah.
Mike a shout out.
Yeah, I guess it is that they have to be live for you to do it, even though it shows upcoming that I can select. I don't see anything
Oh.
for J-Man.
It's probably the thing that somebody else pointed out, that you need permission from the channel to do that, to send them your audience. Because
But
otherwise
I
it
don't
would be
think so.
I also need to know what his channel is, so I need to find it right now, and I
No,
don't.
Martine,
J-Man. Hold on, because I'm subscribed to him. He's a really nice guy and Canadian. I will get his link for you.
I love it when people actually help me. That's awesome. Great.
I'm
know.
I'm a DEI hire. I don't have to do anything.
Oh, there you go.
That's right.
So
Me
you're like
too.
an intern.
Yeah, I don't see him anywhere, so just get me the link.
Okay, not a problem. It is forthcoming in 3, 2, 1.
Whoops,
There you go.
Devon went first.
Debug is on it.
I can't highlight it. I can't
Damn it.
highlight because I'm master of this channel. So all that is I can click this and I can't highlight anything. It's not text to me. So you got to put it in the private chat.
I did. As he looks at the private chat, he realizes that Comic Relief Crusader put the YouTube channel in the private chat.
And did something useful for a change.
Exactly.
Oh, shots fired.
So what is the episode? Because it lists several that are scheduled. It's a Fantastic Four one. I got it.
There we go.
Oh,
76 to 79.
I can't redirect to him. He needs to give me privs, like they said. So, oh well.
That's what I thought, because otherwise it would be chaos. If everybody could send their viewers everywhere, it doesn't work that way.
Let's see, I'm looking to see if any of our friends are live right now or going live. Pops.
Well, Debut, if J-Man is doing a show regularly after our show, you can ask him to give Gary permission so we can send him over.
Yeah. He usually does right around this time. So
there we go. I'm sending it to Pops. So that's it.
Awesome.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, Penny, I hope everything's okay then.
That's so odd for Nevada.
Oh.
She's in Nevada?
That's what I thought.
Oh, Penny.
I don't think Penny's in Nevada.
No, where are you located? What part of the U.S.? Because I know Danny is in Nevada.
Danny is, yeah. She's not in the same state as Danny, as far as I know.
I'm asking her. Because I don't know where she's located. J-Man has several shows live, but this. Hey, Deba, would you let him know that he needs to give me permission to dump onto his shows? Not shit on them, but dump
North
our
Carolina.
show, our audience over to him.
Okay.
Oh, wow, it sucks in NC. Oh, man,
Wow.
I hated North Carolina. Thing is, though, it's, my God, I love the food there. A lot of the seafood. I spent a lot of time on the coast of North Carolina. And they tried to build a second Hollywood there because Dino De Laurentiis built a studio in Charlotte.
Oh.
And they still use, he doesn't use it, but it's used by other people that rent it out.
Well, Penny, hopefully nothing worse happens, but if you need help, then let us know.
Yeah, North Carolina's got to deal both with tornadoes and with hurricanes. So, yay, North Carolina.
Yay.
Yay.
Send them our way. Our state needs to be cleansed in purifying rain.
Let's see.
Okay.
Let me see what I have here right now. Oh, this is next week's right here.
Oh.
You guys can start thinking. You think Gary's telling the truth?
Yes.
I'm thinking totally yes. Yeah.
So, yeah. You
100%
gotta find out next week.
unequivocally
Next
yes.
Friday, did I steal a granola bar from Casper Van Dien? So, that's it, guys. That's the end of the show.
I'm answering in advance. Yes.
I hope everybody had a good time. It was fun. I know Pope was enjoying himself. Man, he was sick sheets to the wind, man. But there was one point, if you didn't catch it, where he was just talking gibberish. It was just like, I don't know what the fuck he just said. Like, he's hammered. He is hammered. But he had an interesting day. He had an interesting day, and he's celebrating. And one thing I will tell you, he is back in college right now, officially. And I'm glad. I'm proud of him. And
Cool.
Pope is just one solid dude in my book. Although I would love to do a show when he doesn't have a pinch between his cheek and gum.
I don't think he would feel.
You see that
He's
picture?
fucking talking to Dale Dye, my boss.
Actually, the better question: how badly did Dale beat you after that?
Not at all.
No
He had a
question.
good time. He enjoyed that. He loved hanging out. He liked meeting Pope. And because he may be an old Marine, but he loves new Marines. He loves them. He loves his fellow Marines, man. And with that, I will say Semper Fi to all my Marine bros. To the rest of you, good job serving your country. I said something the other day on my Twitter account that it's like, stop talking and do. Go out there and serve your fucking country and stand to be counted. You know, stand to and stand to be counted. Serve this fucking country in some form. And stop being a person who sucks on the tit of this country.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yep.
Wait. We have Flip City Magazine here.
Hey,
Well, Flip,
Kitty.
I know Flip will appreciate what I just said.
Yep.
Kitty is awesome. She is a very big patriot.
Big time.
Yes, but you know what I always say? It's better to be latent than never.
Latent.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's another Robin Williams joke. I was like 17 when I heard that, and I just fucking lost my shit. I'm like, that's fucking funny. And other people are like, I don't get it. And I'm like, and you probably never will get that joke. That's okay. So we are out of here, guys. Thanks for being here. I want to thank Pope for being here. Thanks for popping in here at the last session. I appreciate it, buddy. I know you got to work all the way till 5. So, Mike, thanks for popping in, man.
Yeah, it's
I'm
all
not
good.
used to you like being a team player. You're always about yourself and shit.
Yeah.
He's
I
not a
know.
team player, of course.
I'm such a selfish bastard.
You selfish, narcissistic bastard.
I know.
By the way, you said something to me. I'll ask you after the show.
Okay.
Because some stuff happened and I wanted to ask you a question. Because I was like, I think some people are going to start hating me. And I don't care.
Goody.
Look, but I'm funny, man. I have a simple rule. I went over it yesterday.
Yeah.
Simple rule. Don't talk shit about anybody in this community online, anywhere. Don't do that. It's a bad precedence. It shows you're being very unprofessional.
Yeah.
And it's something that Keith and I, when we started this, said that the only people we'll ever talk shit about are the assholes that we already don't like going into it. And one of them, is that bitch with the squishy face that looks like she's eating a lemon. I can't stand her. And the other dude that bites the hand that feeds him all the time. I don't hear anything about him anymore. He's a nut job.
Yeah.
Campia, I know we're friends with 2 of his friends. I know that.
Right.
And you can be friends with whoever you want, man. I'm not going to judge you. But I'm going to tell you right now, I fucking think Campia is a fucking lunatic and an idiot. I cannot.
Hey, Glenn Fleming is here.
I thought you were talking about Matt Jarbo for a second because he's the
That's
guy
who I was talking about, Matt Jarbo.
There we go.
I still try not to talk about him because he is connected to our community in minor ways, but he's bit the hands of so many people in this community that I don't care anymore because he's an absolute. He went after me once and I just laughed it off. Like, you think I give a shit what you think of me?
Well,
nice one.
He wants to try causing internet blood sports for clicks and clout because he thinks they'll get him ahead.
Oh,
Simple
yeah.
as that.
But he personally went after me a year ago. And I didn't even pay it mind. People are like, Matt Girl took shit on you. And I'm like, oh my God, I better go take a shit. Oh, wait, there's no shit on me. Oh, that's right. I've got CP, cootie protection.
For shits and giggles.
You guys remember that in school? I got CP because somebody gets cooties and they're running around the playground. You go, I got CP, cootie protection. You can't
see,
do
Matt,
it.
the only people who are allowed to shit on Gary or people like me or Anima.
Yeah, the only people who matter to me are the people who really know me. And
I know what you did, Shinatsky.
Their opinions that matter most to me. But in reality, the only opinion that matters to me in the long run is my daughter's and mine. And now, because we're in a relationship, Anima. So, because I have friends that have many strong opinions about me, but even Anima has some that I think she got me completely wrong. on. And I posted about it without saying any names. That, you know, some people they think they understand me, and then they make huge mistakes. And I'm like, no, that's not me at all.
Hey man, we agreed we'd never bring up that stint when you were a male prostitute. So we're gonna keep
I
that
was
going.
not a prostitute because
Yeah.
I never made any money at it.
Then you were a really bad one.
There. I'm a
You can
good
test
consumer.
drive the car, but if you can't afford it, then it's a free ride.
I'm a great consumer, but I'm a terrible seller of things. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, we're the fuck out of here. I hope everybody had a good time. And because I sure did. Thanks, Martin, and thanks, Anima, for a great show today. I appreciate it. I say a lot of mean, funny things during the show, and just so you guys know, I mean it, all of it. But I'm just giving you some sugar with it.
I hate you too, buddy.
Give me some sugar, baby. Give me some sugar, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't do it quite as well as that. Yeah. I love
It's hopeless, Gary. It's doomed. End the show already.
Slim Jim. So, hey guys, don't forget to click that like, subscribe, and notification button. We appreciate you watching the show. Now, back to never. I love it. That's all, folks.